a story from about 3 years back. I decided between two sets of jobs that I had just about enough money to buy flight tickets to Madrid and back. So booked those, decided to go travel for the first time. Went to a country where I don't know the language. Landed, no phone. It was raining on that day. Didn't know exactly. So the hostel bookings and all of that had already been done before. So from the airport, I reached the place where the hostel was supposed to be and walked around to sort of figure exactly where it would go. Found the place, walked up to the guy and said, "Hi, my name is Bhagirathi." And he looked at me blankly for a while because it's such a familiar name, and said, "Great, thanks, but we don't have you on our list right now." And I was like, "Okay, new country, don't know the language, made reservations, don't have a place to stay." So I was like, "That is impossible. I have my email reservation confirmed right now." So he had a look at that and said, "Oh, 1 minute, let me check." And then he called his colleague. So the thing with hostels in Europe is a lot of them are manned by students or people who are doing part-time jobs over there so that they can supplement figuring stuff out. This was when the economy wasn't really at the peak in Spain either. So he called one of his colleagues and said, "We don't have her on our list, but she seems to have a confirmed email." Then he goes like, "Oh, yes, it's just that we got really full up, so we've pushed you to one of our sister hostels. Like we've got a deal done." I said, "Okay." So he said, "Just wait a little while, and then we'll take you there." Apparently, check-in was at 12. I'd landed there about 2, so there was a bit of time issue. Then one of them just sort of walked me down the road, and of course it would help when you're in a different country to sort of remember certain things and places so that you can backtrack your way. Instead, of course, I was all, "Oh wow, beautiful buildings and lovely roads, and oh, I'm hungry," and so on. Got to the other hostel somehow because I was following this guy and just sort of asking questions. Reached there, left my bags and said, "I actually want to take a tour of the city, but can't do that, so let me just walk around and get familiar with the space." Went out, walked around. At about 6:37, it started getting a little dark, and I was like, "No, parents don't have any curfew, so maybe I can stay out a little longer and then find my way back." Before Google Maps, it's really difficult to find your way back when you don't even remember what the city looks like. So, kind of reached the place I thought was where the new hostel was, and it was in one by lane somewhere. And this was about 7:30. By that time, it was fairly dark, and walked in, and suddenly, what I noticed was my fellow pedestrians. My fellow pedestrians were fairly interestingly dressed. Now, for someone who is born and brought up in Bombay, you know of places that you just do not go to and your parents do not let you go to, and when you need to stay a little away from the sidewalk, and when you really need to rush back home quickly and hold your bag close and ensure your top's not shiny. So reached there, and there were a lot of leather boots and fishnet stockings, and people I weren't sure were male, female, or what. And there was fear. I was like, I don't know where I am. My parents don't know where I am. I have Wi-Fi once I get to the hostel, so till then my phone is useless. I have money, just a little bit, and I have my passport. So hopefully I'm going to get back out of this with a story to tell. I did. So there was really scared, and this person comes up to me, this woman in a really bright red dress, and she says with a rather hoarse voice in Spanish, "What's up? What's wrong?" And I realized it's a guy. I was like, "I don't know." And then he figured I don't understand Spanish. So he's like, "Are you lost?" And I was like, "Yes, I don't know where my hostel is." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He says, "Where exactly do you need to go? What is the name of the hostel?" And so on and so forth. And then, so I was like, it's the new hostel, and this is where it's supposed to be. He's like, "1 minute, let me just find out." And he calls 2-3 other people and says, "This is where she needs to go." I was like, there's 2-3 more people. I'm still alone. And now they know where I live. So Little bit of a problem. And then this guy with a crew cut and was decidedly a guy but shiny clothes says, "Oh, I know where this is," and then sort of leads me to the building that looks really familiar. And I was like, "Yes." And now I climb up and it was on the third floor, and the first two floors had these open doors where a lot of very interesting scenes were being played out. I was like, this is not happening. Reached the third floor. It was the hostel. It was fine. The guy at the check-in place was like, yeah, this is fine. Dinner can be served at this point. You've got Wi-Fi. And I sat down and I was like, maybe, just maybe, being in this zone is not so bad. Like, it's not like everyone is out to get you. It's not like every red light district has a pimp that's going to steal you and sell you. Maybe you just need to breathe a little bit and trust the universe for things to work out. So that's my story.